Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Is it permissible for a woman to make educational videos on YouTube that include her voice? So I'm assuming that this question is born out of the concern over the aura of a woman and whether the aura is inclusive of her voice. I'm saying this because, of course, the person has not asked about the idea of making videos in the first place. So when it comes to the voice, a woman's voice is not considered aura, right? It's not considered aura. So it is permissible for her to speak in public as long as she is covered in the way that the Sharia demands her to be covered. And that's the gist of the answer. Other considerations, of course, is that modesty should be the default condition, the default description of any such engagement. Women in the Quran, in the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad are taught to not beautify or soften their voices when speaking in a setting where non-maharim can hear them. They should try to speak in a more serious tone, not in a very friendly tone or flirtatious tone, because people with illnesses in their hearts may find a deviation and be attracted towards them and have evil thoughts about them. So when we consider that this is the requirement, modesty is the requirement, one must be ultra careful when making a decision such as this. There's great benefit in utilizing social media, technology, and the like within legal parameters. But one must always be aware of the, I wouldn't say dangers, but the potential risks that one is going to take in such a venture, and mitigate those dangers or those risks accordingly. So, for example, if there's a real need for a sister to make da'wah in this sense or teach in this sense, or there's something beneficial, some other form of educational material, even if it's not dini related. So there's a need and she wants to fulfill that need by doing it with social media or videos and the like, then ensure that you go the extra mile to protect yourself, your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your modesty, your chastity, protect yourself from evil, both evil of the unseen world and the seen world. Take the necessary precautions and consult a scholar to ensure that the overall look and feel of what you are doing leaves you in a good state with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you don't compromise yourself, right? I know I'm being somewhat vague because this is a very broad topic. I mean, you could do a million things on YouTube, but right now, because of all of those possibilities, the best advice I could give is understand the rules, right? The do's and the don'ts when it comes to this particular activity, in terms of covering the aura, what is aura, what isn't aura, in terms of the beautification, the way you present yourself, makeup and all of those things. Take those rules into consideration first. Over and above that, if you still feel that you need to be guided, that's where I believe a personal consultation with a scholar, either a female scholar or a male scholar, who can understand the parameters of what you are doing and give you advice as to how to conduct yourself in a way where modesty is your primary description for your activity. Wallahu subhanahu wa ta'ala a'lam. But again, just to reiterate, the voice of a woman is not considered aura in the madhab of Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala. This is according to Imam Ramli. But still, it is disliked out of fear of fitna for women to make a display of her own voice when there is fitna. Imam Khatib Shirbini, he didn't agree with this, and he says that it is haram. Imam Khatib Shirbini says that it is haram according to him by way of analogy, because he says it is haram for a woman to raise her voice in the adhan in front of other non-mahram men. And you can find this in many Shafi'i texts like Bushra al-Karim and others. So for this reason, still, right, the better approach, the safer approach, is to abstain from activities where you are in the public light and you're going to be the focus of attention. It is the better and safer approach. So that would be the approach that sort of takes you out of the the khilaf, right? The issue of differences of opinion there, because some scholars held the voice of the woman to be awrah, and khuruj min al khilaf, sunnah, right? To stay out of a framework of differences of opinion, that's the recommended action. So now I've given you the length and breadth of the issue. And between that, it is your prerogative to make a decision bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Do remember the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. He said, the halal is clear, the haram is clear. Between them, there's some doubtful matters. Those who abstain from the doubtful matters, they've preserved their religion and they've preserved their honor and their dignity. Whatever choice you decide to make, understand that because of the scope within this mas'ala, there may be different approaches. And while you've made one particular choice, it is important not to consider others or the choices of others to be poor choices or bad choices, as long as they are within the framework of permissibility, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best.
La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah.